What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Oddchopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell as we get going. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you, because you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Guys, we're in the middle of this Tuesday slate here. I only had Sacramento and Utah exposure. That was the only thing I ended up betting on the card. We had Bradley Beal getting ruled in, and then now he's out for the rest of this game for the Milwaukee game there. We had SGA get ruled out from the absolute top ropes. Crazy stuff going on in the NBAs. Of course, we still have OKC on Wednesday's slate, but we have 12 games to break down. Very much looking forward to it. Going to be an awesome day of hoops. First, sign up at DraftKings, lovely sponsor of this program. Bet $5, you're going to get $200. That bet doesn't even need to win. Now, I have a bet picked out for you. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but if you sign up in the video description box below, bet $5, get $200 right now over at DraftKings. Alrighty, y'all. I said massive slate coming here on Wednesday. Let's get to the picks. We kick off Wednesday's slate with the Grizzlies visiting the Hornets. Not much housekeeping on the Memphis side. Brandon Clark out, Santi Aldama questionable. Doesn't move the needle a whole lot for me in terms of betting them outright. But the Charlotte side's a bit more radical. Kelly Oubre Jr. out, Gordon Hayward doubtful, and even Cody Martin questionable. That matters in some contexts as he's played all of 1 minute this entire season due to an opening day injury, and he was a starter last year. We'll be paying attention to that now. That matters because props are available across the board already here in every capacity. And one piece that jumps out to me from the onset is Mason Plumlee. It's a center, and thus you wouldn't think he benefits all that much with Oubre's absence. But the minutes have trailed up the past few games without him, and Oubre is a 26.4% usage player, meaning more shots to go around for the whole lot of Hornets, so I'm eyeing his props. But it's not my favorite play. That has to undoubtedly go to Memphis center Steven Adams, the big Kiwi, who saw 34 minutes last time out with no Brandon Clark backing him up, the second most he's played in a game all season long. And with a low points prop at 10.5, choose just inside of -110 on FanDuel at the moment, I think that's worth a small half-unit play that vaults it into the like status. So from our first game, I trust his points more than the rebounds. For the big guy, he's had tons of rebounds lately. The Lord of the Rings land, I love New Zealand, over 10.5 points. I like it for Steven Adams. Next up, we go to Cleveland, where Donovan Mitchell is the obvious first conversation piece here. 71 points in the OT thriller, a total replication of the Luka missed free throw from last week, the most points in a game since Kobe's 82, vaulting it into the top 10 of most points scored in a game all time. It's pretty good stuff. Now, we could be looking at something similar in terms of usage this time out, as backcourt mate Darius Garland is doubtful once more, and Evan Mobley enters questionable for a second straight game. No props out here yet, but get ready for a ridiculous Mitchell number on the points that I almost assuredly will be looking to short, if anything at all. As TLC once said, don't go chasing waterfalls, just stick to the rivers and the bowyons you're used to. At least I think that's what they said. Anyways, what do I like here? Cavs, of course. The Suns still have no Booker, and even the chance that Mobley plays elevates this into the like territory, laying just 4.5 points. I would have this at 6.5. If you had Mobley ruled in, I'd have it around 6 if he doesn't. Yeah, he's worth probably more than a half point, but that's the way it models out. Now, if this thing starts to get to 6 or so, go ahead and hit eject. But as it stands here on Tuesday night, feel free to fire up 4.5, as this iteration of the Suns is riding the struggle bus. And a date in Cleveland, you probably want to get a bus out of there. Yeah, here you go. 4.5, not enough. Give me Cleveland for a leg. Off to Orlando, where the Thunder visit the Magic. And wouldn't you know it, SGA was ruled out from the absolute clouds on Tuesday. So that's very obviously the major thing to monitor going into Wednesday. But I've said it multiple times, expect the unexpected with the Thunder all season long, which is why I almost never recommend them, especially doing a show 24 hours before the game tips off, knowing how wonky those injury reports end up as soon as the afternoon comes around. The Magic, however, they've got this whole suspension thing to deal with as well, as there will be no Wagner brothers on Wednesday. Matters far more that Franz is out between the two of them, obviously, but now Bull also. Health and safety protocols out of nowhere, but Jalen Suggs could be back. So to recap, we have no idea of the best player by far by far in this entire game, whether he's going to play or not, on the Thunder side, SGA, they pretty much could rest anyone they wanted to on a back-to-back and not get in trouble with the league. And the Magic have a bunch of question marks everywhere. My goodness, folks, what a cluster F this game is. Let's just lean the Magic money line, because I don't know what else to tell you with no line, no idea who's playing. This is just the all-around shrug emoji, like the guy from The Last Dance. Moving on. Oh, moving on to this lovely play. I'm going to talk about it here in a second, but we've got the New York Knicks at -9 over on DraftKings.com. If you bet $5 on that in the video description box below, yes, just $5, you're going to get yourself $200 in free bets. There's no strings attached. There's no gimmicky marketing or anything that goes into that. It is just a straight up W for you. You don't even need that bet to win, but I think it's probably one of the easier plays on the board for me today. So Knicks, -5. Let's hope Devin Vassell sits there for the Spurs. I'm going to talk about that in just a few seconds here, but get yourself a head start. Head to DraftKings.com, put $5 on the Knicks, and enjoy $200 in free bets. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. Philly. Boy Meets World fans, no? Whatever. They're up next hosting the Pacers, and we've got a 100% healthy Philly team for the first time in a long time. That usually means efficient lines and a ton of difficulty mining any value out of these numbers. So doubt we end up with many Sixer spreads until pieces start getting hurt or rested or something existing on the other side. But that doesn't happen here because the same can be said about the health of this road Pacers squad. Chris Duarte, who doesn't really matter, quack out of Oregon, he's questionable, but otherwise another perfectly healthy basketball team. Yikes, fan, that makes this one tough to bet in props or the spread or the total. I think this game is actually a quick pass all the way around. We've got 12 total here to cover. If you made me choose anything, I suppose the under of 232.5 could be somewhat in play. But on a 12-game slate, there's no need to get cute here. So kick up your feet, enjoy watching a healthy Harden and Embiid Maxey team, take on Halliburton and company. But please don't bet in anything here under 232.5 if you made me pick. Hey, I talked about them earlier, but we got the New York Knicks. They're fresh off of their evisceration of the Suns on Monday, hosting another down-on-their-luck team in the Spurs in this one. Spurs injury news is pretty simple and pretty important. Questionable for Devin Vassell, their best offensive talent. And same with the Knicks as RJ Barrett is out, but Jalen Brunson returned last game, so I expect him to be out there once more on Wednesday. And yay to the Spurs getting eviscerated on Monday by the Nets. Yeah, by the Nets there. Everybody's getting eviscerated by the Nets, and yay to them getting eviscerated because, folks, it feels like an eventuality that Vassell will not play here. Yeah, you heard it from me first. Now, you either need to be fleet of foot to react to that news when it drops so that the line doesn't change, or you need to guess correctly. And I'm of the mind that the Spurs' ultimate goal for 2023, their New Year's resolution, is giving themselves every chance at Victor Wembanyama, the French superstar, eventual #1 pick, no questions asked. They want that pick. Like everybody else, why not lose every game? And in that spirit, I'm leaning towards Vassell sitting. He's been dealing with knee soreness at every shoot-around. See if he goes through shoot-around. If he doesn't, I am firing this up in bulk. Why? Why even put one of your best pieces and potential trade assets in jeopardy for no reason? Especially, again, your goal is losing basketball games. So with that line of thinking, I know it's bold, but I am liking -9 on the Knicks side. Almost locked it. Now, this very same Knicks team lost to the Spurs a few nights ago, but the circumstances are very, very different with a healthy Brunson back in the fray. And despite his defensive ineptitude I love to talk about, the dude is a straight baller on the offensive end of the hardwood. Him and Randall have been electric. Has quickly adjusted to a far more intricate role absent Barrett. That wasn't funny. I'll happily lay the 9 here for a standard unit play. New York Knicks, -9. I like it a lot. Tough spot to break down with the Bucks on the second leg of a back-to-back on the road taking on a tough Raptors opposition. They're up 9 right now, just inside of 4 minutes here on Tuesday's game going up against the Wiz there. So January 4th basketball. I doubt they want to push Drew Holiday on a back-to-back. It's a team with title aspirations. Now, he did come off the bench Tuesday in an attempt to limit his minutes. Does that mean they automatically just out him Wednesday? Or will they do the same thing, limit his minutes, and still let him play on the back-to-back? I lean on him being out, but that's just a hunch, something I actually have to wait and see. Actually, this entire game is a lean because there's no line, no spread. We do have a perfectly healthy Raptors team, which should be fun, but lots to wade through in this one. I'll lean the Raptors for the possibility of a major influx, of resting players like we've seen Milwaukee do in the past. But if Giannis plays, more than likely I'll just stay away from this game entirely unless something drastically changes. If you have questions about this, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist or in the comment section below here on the YouTubes. Until then, Toronto moneyline, that's my lead. We're going to Chicago up here next as they host Brooklyn, this red-hot, ridiculous Brooklyn basketball team. I liked them even as 13.5-point favorites the other night. Boy, did that work out well against the Spurs. And I also wrapped Sir Mix-a-Lot for the people. I do what the people like. You like Sir Mix-a-Lot? I'll throw that on in there. But I also like Brooklyn in this spot going up against Chicago. I get it. Chicago, perfectly healthy for the most part, absent Andre Drummond. They've got Javonte Green. That doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. And the Brooklyn side, only Royce O'Neal, who did end up sitting, but is now probable for Wednesday. Oh boy, friends. Brooklyn's just playing high-octane basketball, and I want to be a part of it. Healthy Kevin Durant, healthy Kyrie Irving. This is the team that we were promised. This is the team, adding Ben Simmons, who's playing great minutes for them as well. They look as potent as ever. They're on a crazy win streak. We just need to keep riding this wave. It's going to move to 6. I can't imagine that this line doesn't find a way to get to 6.5 by tip-off tomorrow. In that spirit, I'm seeing -5 at DraftKings, but there are actually some 4.5s lingering around the entire industry. Go find them. Go bet them now if you still can. Brooklyn, -4.5. One of my favorite plays on the day, but not quite a lock, purely because no injury news that could catapult it into another stratosphere. Yay, solid win by my Minnesota Timberwolves against the Nuggets on Monday, and I didn't end up betting against them like I normally do. Double win. But now they host a perfectly healthy Blazers team, and Naz Reid remains the questionable piece here, backup center. Feels like a stay away all the way around, doesn't it? I mean, I've been known to dabble in a Damian Lillard points prop or two, but even that doesn't feel super appealing at 28.5 with Yusuf Nurkic good to go, it sounds like, for Wednesday. Oh, and he's sharing the court with Anthony Simons, who is a damn good baller, and Jeremy Grant, who's starting to pick up his play. Looks like early Detroit form Jeremy Grant. So, sadly, this is another casualty of a large slate. I'll go the Minnesota money line purely for trying to inspire my team to greatness or some crap like that. But holy Lord, people, do not bet. Do not bet Minnesota, because the only thing backing Minnesota sports will bring you is pain. Trust me, I know from experience I hate my life. Minnesota money line, just a lean. All right, I'm being a little facetious there. Minnesota, it's not so bad. It was a lovely spot to grow up, but we are going to New Orleans here. That would have been more fun. Give me Mardi Gras every single day of the week, but not a whole lot of celebrating going on in New Orleans because Zion Williamson now going to be out, it sounds like, for quite a long time. A hamstring injury. Lots of hamstring injuries going around the entire NBA right now. Not sure what the deal is there. You don't see it as much as you would see in a quick burst sport like NFL, but boy, oh boy, that's a huge, huge bummer down there. I do think we're looking at a really gross play here as a result, and that is the Houston money line. I get it. They're a terrible basketball team. But plus 240 that I'm getting right now going the Houston direction, I think that's too good to pass up over on DraftKings.com. This is a little bit of a value-laden play because Jayshawn Tate, only piece out for Houston. Everybody else perfectly healthy. But I'm not sure. CJ McCollum is certainly going to be a great fantasy asset. But how long is Jonas Valanciunas and Herbert Jones and Najee Marshall and Trey Murphy the third going to carry this basketball team? I would vote not very far. Larry Nance going to be out for this one as well. Brandon Ingram still not ready to return to basketball here yet. Give me Kevin Porter Jr. Give me Alperen Sengun. These guys on the Houston side getting hot for one night with the value attached to them. Plus 240 for a team that has a completely different complexion than it had 2 games ago. Pretty easy play if you ask me, and I get it. They lose this game more than half the time, so don't attach this to your parlays. Don't do that kind of crazy stuff, but a nice standalone bet. Plus 240, I'm going to make it. I think you should too. I bet I know what you're saying. If you're a longtime watcher of this program, Eric, you haven't locked anything yet. Well, nothing has really earned it until now. And I'm not talking Bojan Bogdanovic, our notorious guy from the Detroit Pistons who, still finds ways to linger around that 21.5 points prop every single night because he's just an absolute dodge. Still shooting 50, 40, 90 on the season, 50% from 2, 40% from 3, 90% from the free throw line. But I've made the switch, and I think you need to be on board too. to Jaden Ivey. Yeah, we're talking about the Purdue rookie. They don't have anything to play for in Detroit, but there are a couple of really positive signs, even though it was a losing bet going up against Portland. One, the guy got in early foul trouble, which prevented him from going over this 14.5 number. That was pretty brutal. He got 2 fouls within the first 3 minutes of the last game, didn't come back in until much later into the second quarter. It was an overall bummer, limited him to just 27 minutes. Number 2, Alec Burks played really, really well off the bench, so there's that, and you could possibly see that not happening here. He's not somebody that they're necessarily looking at giving extra run to like a rookie in Ivy. And number 3, he closed out a basketball game that they were down 30 of in the late waning moments of it. So I think Jaden Ivey is truly blowout proof, and we've seen a 27% usage for him going up against a lot of weaker backcourts, but 27% usage absent Cade Cunningham on the season, and now he gets Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson on the perimeter. I get it. We're worried about blowout all the time, but only a 6.5 point spread. That's different than the 9 and 9.5s that we're laying there against Portland. I'm going right back to the well here. Lock button Jaden Ivey here in this spot. 14.5 points. That is not enough. We are going to see him start smashing this very, very soon. And we go from one lock to another lock. We've got the Miami Heat visiting the Lakers, and oh my goodness, LeBron James. He's pretty good at basketball, huh? We've got him probable for this one. I actually got downgraded to questionable while we were on this show, so that's going to be something to pay attention to. And in that spirit, oh my goodness, you possibly don't have LeBron James on this basketball team? Whoopsie. This could be a massive, massive get-right spot for all of you bettors of the Miami Heat, because this is a 16-21 Lakers team with LeBron James, with Anthony Davis for a majority of these games. What happens when you take them off the court, considering they have a negative 1.4 adjusted net rating on dunks and threes so far, with both of them mostly present? It's a terrible basketball team, and Russell Westbrook also going to be questionable entering this one. Oh my goodness, we need to find every dollar we possibly can. My favorite play on the entire board, period, end of story, going to the Miami Heat side. This line is broken, and you only have Caleb Martin, who is going to be probable here coming into this one on the injury report. You get a healthy Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry. They basically coasted against the Clippers the other night. Jimmy Butler only attempted 8 shots. We're talking about putting the bubble wrap on him and unleashing him on the Lakers here on the second set of their LA stint. This is just the easiest play that I have seen almost all season long. -3.5 Miami. Smash it to the moon, folks. And we round out our evening. Whew, I need some water. We got our 12th game, and it's another fascinating back-to-back spot as the Kings return home to take on the Hawks. Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, they were both questionable on Tuesday, and both ended up playing against Utah. Now, does that mean they get the night off as they return home? Does somebody else get a seat? De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, all playing huge minutes here for this basketball team. I don't know, but Sacramento's been a very good home team all season long, and I don't care. I don't know if that even matters here at this point in time. Look at this spread. We're talking Atlanta inside of standard juice right now, or getting the +1.5. I'm willing to just say money line on the Atlanta side, and part of it is that even with Clint Capella out, we have seen John Collins really start to emerge. That was the game of the year so far, the Atlanta Golden State game we had the other night. But there were a lot of positives. Bogdanovich being able to play big minutes, 43 minutes, by far his season high. If he can stay healthy alongside Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, I get it. We've been chasing this team. We've tried to be on the right side of this team multiple times this year. But 2023, let's turn a new leaf. Let's bet them. I think they're the lean right now, but I'm very strongly considering a play, hoping Sacramento rests a couple of pieces on this back-to-back. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays. Let me know my favorite plays that you liked, that you're on board with here for Wednesday slate. We've got 12 games. There's going to be a ton of moving news. If you guys want some extra stuff, head to the premium Discord. That is also available in the link below. You can sign up using promo code ELInsider at stokastic.com/Lindy. That's me. You guys can join that. It's only $19.99 a week, plus you get the first week free. So you don't like it, go ahead and cancel whenever you want, but I bet you'll enjoy it. Just like you'll enjoy $200 in free bets over at DraftKings.com right now. Sign up in the link below. Bet that $5 on the New York Knicks -9. Get yourself those free bets. Alrighty, y'all, I'll be back for Thursday. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Wednesday.